For a lot of you, the education system has absolutely failed you. It's left you with a lot of debt. It's left you with little practical skill. And it's left you with zero business acumen. And it hasn't enabled you to be able to make back the money that it cost for the degree that you got. So what do? Well, I know some of you watching this are even considering going to university to get a degree in the health sciences, exercise, nutrition science, dietetics, in the health, wellness, fitness, medicine industry. Is it worth it? Well, you have a crossroads moments here, whether you're thinking about doing it, whether you've already done it, or whether you're looking for your next step in education. You have to analyze the variables very carefully, because the sunk cost of 3 to 4 years inside the university system, $30,000 to $40,000 Australian, hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're in the US and beyond, in the thousands of hours it's going to take to you, is a significant investment that many people don't ask themselves and carefully analyze, because if you're in Australia, like most of you watching this are, it is subsidized by the government. And so you can think that's a later problem. That's a later problem. Little do you know that you're paying interest on that year on year, and that's an accumulated debt that they're building and building and building. But you weren't told that, were you? You weren't told that. And so you have to be very aware of this before you engage in this type of investment, because you have to see, is it actually an investment? And so the education system has failed many people. It didn't fail me. I loved university. I got something out of every single lecture that I did. I astutely studied. A 2-hour lecture, I would sit there for double the time and study and analyze carefully. I would pause. I would take voracious notes. I would turn up at my lectures. I'd get upset at myself if I ever missed anything. I would be a perfectionist in the way I studied. And so the language and literacy of my knowledge grew every single week, every single day. Not every single unit was relevant. There were certainly many moments to which I questioned, what is the purpose? This does not have practical relevancy. What is the purpose of this in the real life? This does not have ecological validity. There are many, many moments like that in university courses, particularly in our field. But you take into consideration the limitations of the system, which are many, and you realize sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze. But for many of you, you don't even know if this to be true. Many of you will not have the obsession, curiosity, and wonder and excitement to sit down for 4 years in a row, work and coach, manage your relationships, manage your family, manage side businesses, manage your side hobbies, manage all the rest of your life, and still do full-time study and do well at it and enjoy it and get a lot out of it. Many of you won't do this. And so that's why, for most of you, the education system will fail you if it hasn't already. Because you're going to miss out on a variety of different opportunities in that 3 to 4 years that could have gotten you elsewhere. Not only could you have learnt a lot of the information that you were going to learn in university elsewhere, you could have gained and opened a whole variety of new doors that you wouldn't have been able to open had you been ensconced in the university system, because you'd been head down, full-time study, dozens of hours a week. And when one door opens, another one closes. And one door closes, another one opens. And so by opening the university door, you actually close yourself off to a variety of opportunities for years to come. You also open up new ones, but you have to be aware of this. Is the juice worth the squeeze? What is it for? If you're going to study a university degree, you must ask, what is this for? Is it just for knowledge? If it's just for knowledge, you can learn that elsewhere. If it's for accreditation, then what are you trying to be accredited for? Do you want to be an exercise physiologist, a dietitian, a doctor, a naturopath? If you're looking to achieve a protected name, the status of a protected name, like a dietitian, like a naturopath, like a MD, well, you're going to need to play this game. Problem is, how are you going to make money? It's going to take you years. And in the meantime, you're going to need to learn how to manage and run a successful business while your skill set comes along with it. And then what do you do when everything you're learning in the education system, or pardon me, a lot of what you're learning in the education system is outdated and maybe not the most up to date? Or what do you do when a lot of information is actually contrary to a lot of alternative medicinal approaches, alternative medicine? What do you do when the latest research you start to see, because you do your own due diligence, because that's what you do as a professional, and you realize the new studies that talked about not recommending caffeine during pregnancy because there is no safe limit, but the university is teaching that there is a safe limit. So what do you do with that? That's what happened to me. It's a real example. University told me and taught me that there is a safe limit, and they quoted a study from 5-6 years ago. I'm like, hold on, I've heard contrary to this. I looked up, did my own due diligence, and found contrary to that belief through other newer evidence. So now that's just one single example. So now you have to understand there's limitations in any education system, yet you're being taught that university is the upper echelon for authority and for educational excellence. Yet the problem is it's not anymore. It's not as up to date. It's a very big, slow moving ship. So let's say you want to make a change to a curriculum. It can take 1 to 2 years of reviews. It can take semesters of reviews, and people have to agree. And then you have to update it on the online portal for everybody. And then you have to change a curriculum. Then you have to get vetted and agreed by 17 different people. And so by the time the new information has been accepted into the system, there's already new information possibly to replace that. Where Trinity comes in, and Trinity is different, is that it teaches you everything that you need to know and more in regards to human health problems. But it's not slow moving. It's highly adaptable. If we see something new, we change it immediately. It's up to date, real time. If a student gives feedback in real time, it changes in real time, on the dime, like an Allen Iverson crossover. It changes immediately. It doesn't take 6 months, 3 months, a semester. We make the changes now because we understand educational excellence needs to happen right now. Because there's people's health on the line. Another limitation about university is that money. University, not even business courses, marketing courses at university, teach you practical skill sets that are effective in the real world to make you at least the money you put back into the degree, let alone, a 6-figure job, a 6-figure income. Well, why is that? They're not setting you up. They're not setting us up for actual real life prosperity. They're teaching us a skill set. They're taking our money. They say bye-bye. You never hear from them again. And then what are you left with? You have a piece of paper that 50% of Australia has. So you're not unique at all. You're not unique if you have a degree. You're barely even unique if you have a master's now. So you're not unique. You don't have a point of difference. This isn't the 70s or the 60s where you actually, wow, you have a degree. That's an immediate sense of authority and respect. Half the population, half Australians got degrees. Every second person you know has got a degree. Who cares? People care what you can do with it. Competency beats credentials. People care more about whether you can actually help them and solve their problem rather than the piece of paper that supposedly says you can help them, which they don't even understand anyway. So university isn't adaptable. It's very slow moving to new information and often gives you old information that is not up to date. It doesn't teach you how to make more money and build a successful business, which you need as a health professional. It's not scarce anymore. It's an abundant, almost commodity. It's an abundant utility, opportunity that every second person has. So it's not deemed as anywhere near as valuable as it used to be. It's deemed as normal. And you self-sacrifice thousands of hours for a system of learning that is not the most efficient or adaptable for each individual's need, because it has to cater for the group. And the group is massive. The group is massive in university. You're in a class of 50 people, 100 people, a cohort of 1,000 people. You're a number. They don't know you by name. Trinity, small, intimate. Of course I know you all by name. I know your families. I know your personal problems. I know your upbringing. you become a friend and inside the cohort of my family for basically life, so a lot of people. Highly adaptable, fast moving. And for some reason, universities have all agreed that 3 years is what a degree takes, and a master's takes 2, apparently. Apparently all fields, all industries, it takes the exact amount of time. There's nobody sat down to question that it's all a fugazi and it's made up, and that they do that to systemize it, make it all consistent and standardize across industries. When industries shouldn't be comparable. Each industry and subdivision of each industry should be variable and heterogeneous. It should be different to each. Why does an exercise science degree take 3 years and you can have an arts degree take 3 years? They're filling units and a bunch of electives which are forcible. You have to pick the electives. Anybody ever question this? You can't say, no, I don't want to do the electives and pay $3,000 for each elective. Let me do the degree faster and just do the major units. You don't get that option. They force you into their system of 3 years. You must go through this, pay us our money, or you don't play the game. So you end up learning a bunch of superfluous shit that you don't need. Trinity is what you need. It is a ruthless distillation of highly complex educational excellence into simple categories of learning with highly practical insights and strategies and tools and resources that you use to help grow your business and help your clients. It has to be like that, because how can I distill my life, my career, my 10 years? How can I distill all of this and what I know in business and health and psychology into a 14 to 16 month program if it does not cut the fat, if it is not lean and it is not fast? You see why I said 14 to 16 months? Because the duration is slightly variable and in flux depending on the ever-changing needs of the intake and the industry. The education that changes. We have to accommodate and auto-regulate, like we do a program, the education system. And so there has to be some variance to accommodate for that reality. And because we're not governed by the governing body overlords of the government, then we have flexibility. We can move fast. And that is worth a lot. Because now you're getting what you need, and that's it. You're not getting fluff. You're not wasting time learning things that you don't need to know. You're investing every second meticulously into information and education that only uplifts, educates, inspires, and gives you the tools and the resources needed to grow. So before you pick a university degree, you need to meticulously analyze why. What is this for? What purpose will this serve? How will this help me? And how will this help me help the world? Because I too was drawn by the temptress to do 4 degrees and become a dietitian, doctor, physiotherapist, psychologist, exercise scientist, the whole enchilada. But then you realize you don't need that. You don't need that. You need this and this. You need your mind and you need your hands and you need your heart. And you think I'm speaking in esoteric terms right now. I absolutely am not, because those 3 things is what has helped hundreds and hundreds of clients and people, and dozens and dozens and dozens of students and mentees through my mentorships. And it's worked for them. And for you, well, You'll have to see if you have what it takes. If you want to know more, keep scrolling the page, strengthofsaad.com/Trinity. And if you're up for it, you can apply and you can see if you can fit the criteria to join the program. I wish you luck. Actually, I don't wish you luck. I wish you courage.